In my hip-hop content creation journey, I cover a lot of different topics. Artist deep dives, album breakdowns, cultural debates, all of it. And I've learned something along the way. If I did my job well, the best videos don't just get views. They create real dialogue in the comment section. That's how I know I hit something worth talking about. And lately, one recurring theme kind of keeps coming up no matter what the video is about. And that's people saying that rap music glorifies violence, that it promotes drug culture, and that it's misogynistic toward women. Now, I want to be clear. As someone who loves the culture deeply, I don't believe that that's what true hip hop is about. But I'm also not going to sit here and tell you that those observations are completely wrong, because depending on what's been pushed through your speakers for the last 30 years, I understand why some people feel that way. And then something else happened. Pan-African educator and content creator Chanel Oliver brought the same topic up on her Instagram. And the moment I saw it, it was like the confirmation I needed. And I knew I had to look into this further. But here's the question nobody's asking. Why does some of the music look and feel like that? Who decided that's the version of hip hop that gets amplified? And who benefits when it does? Because in 1988, hip hop was the most dangerous music in America. And not because of the content, but because of the message. Public Enemy was telling you to fight the power. KRS was telling you to stop the violence and was putting Black history in the verses. That music scared people in power. And then something changed. Not slowly, deliberately. And what I'm about to show you is not a conspiracy theory. It's a paper trail. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Let's get to it. Meet me on the other side.
Broadway the Lyricist, homie, just let me do my thing.
Let's start with the structure of the industry, because most people don't realize how consolidated it is. 3 major labels, Universal, Sony, and Warner, control over 75% of the entire music market. Artist contracts, streaming platforms, radio promotion, all of it flows through those 3. And those 3 don't exist in a vacuum. They're owned by or heavily invested in by massive institutional investment firms. 6 media conglomerates control 90% of what Americans read, watch, and hear. 6. That's not a diverse marketplace of ideas. That's a funnel. Now here's where it gets specific, because 2 of those investment firms, the ones sitting at the top of the funnel, are also sitting at the top of something else entirely. And that something else is what should make every hip hop fan stop and think. According to public financial data from Bloomberg, the 2 largest institutional investors in America's private prison companies, CoreCivic and Geo Group, which together control the majority of private prison contracts in this country, are Vanguard Group and BlackRock. Those same 2 firms, Vanguard and BlackRock, are also among the largest shareholders in Viacom and Time Warner. Viacom owns BET and MTV. Time Warner had its hands in Warner Music Group. So you have the same institutional money sitting on top of the companies that control what rap gets promoted nationally and the companies that profit when people go to prison. Now, is that a smoking gun? No. Those are passive index fund investments. But here's the thing. These private prison companies have spent tens of millions lobbying the government to keep the prisons full. And the culture that glorifies street life and criminal activity makes that job easier. You don't have to prove coordination to understand incentive. But hold on, because if it was just about investor overlap, you could write this off as coincidence. What makes this conversation real is what happens at the artist level. And Wise Intelligent for Poor Righteous Teachers broke this down better than almost anyone. In his book, and the title alone says everything. 3/5 an MC, the manufacturing of a dumbed down rapper. Wise Intelligent lays out the mechanism. Rappers who deliver a certain brand of content get rewarded. Record labels, radio play, tour support, playlist placement. Rappers who challenge the narrative get penalized. No funding, no radio, no support. Not because the conscious music isn't there. It absolutely is. But because it gets blocked from mainstream avenues. Think about that in the context of 1988. Public Enemy sold millions of records. Arrested Development sold 4 million. The conscious era wasn't dying because people didn't want it. It was dying because certain people stopped pushing it through the pipeline. Real quick, if you're finding value in this conversation, hit that like button to help this content reach more people who need to hear it. Now let's get back to it, because I'm not letting these labels off the hook, but I'm also not letting the artists off the hook either. Here's where I want to be real with you, because this is the part of the conversation that gets uncomfortable. The system is real. The incentives are real, but someone still has to pick up the mic. Wise Intelligent himself said it. The corporations are the ones that need to change. There are thousands of young rappers right now making conscious, intentional music who just can't get through the door. They exist. The talent is there. So we have to separate two things: the artists who are genuinely locked out and the artists who know exactly what they're doing but choose to do it anyway because the check is bigger. Individual agency does matter. The system creates the incentive, but the pen is still in the artist's hands. We can critique the machine and hold the operator accountable at the same time. Those are not mutually exclusive. So where does that leave us? The shift from the revolutionary hip-hop of 1988 to what dominated the commercial lanes through the 90s and 2000s wasn't just a cultural evolution. It was shaped by a system where the same institutional money that profits from mass incarceration also controls the media pipelines that decided what version of this culture got amplified. It's not a reason to give up on the music. It's a reason to be more intentional about what we support, what we stream, and who we put our energy behind. The real hip-hop never left. We just have to choose to find it. But now, I want to know where you stand on this one. Drop your thoughts in the comments. If you got something out of this video, be sure to hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel. Click that bell icon so you get notified when I upload new content. And if you want more conversations like this, be sure to check out my Hip Hop Didn't Tell You playlist. Thank you guys so much for watching. I truly appreciate y'all. Peace.